Hello everybody, this is Shilpa Gogre from Department of Mathematics, Maharishi Dayanand College, Mumbai. In this video, I am going to give an introduction to the topic probability. Now, probability is something, maybe the word is new to all of you, but the concept is already known to you. Let me make two statements over here. The first statement is saying that the sun will rise tomorrow. That is first statement. Sun will rise tomorrow. And the second statement is, it is going to rain tomorrow. It will rain tomorrow. Now, first statement, it is a very much certain thing. Every morning the sun is rising from east. So there is a certainty in the first statement. Whereas when you look at the second statement, it will rain tomorrow. You cannot be so sure about this. Even if it is a rainy season, one cannot be sure about that it is going to rain tomorrow. So there is an uncertainty in the second statement. And as you all know, uncertainty is there in every part of life. And whenever there is an uncertainty, you have the probability. Now, let me tell you some more examples. Suppose I ask a student appearing for, let us say, a third year examination. And if a question is asked, what do you think? What are the chances that you will get first class in the TY examination? Now, the student may not be very much sure and there is little uncertainty in the answer. So the student may say that there are 50% chances. Okay, so this word chances is known to all of you, and normally when we answer for the how many chances you feel that this will happen or that will happen, the answer is normally in the percentage. Okay, one more example I'll give. A coin is tossed. Okay, in a cricket match or in many other sports, you can see that a coin is tossed. You can either get a head or you get a tail. What are the chances of getting a head? If it is a fair and unbiased coin, you can say. Unbiased coin means it is not a coin which was used in the movie Sholay by Amitabh Bachchan. It is an unbiased coin. Okay, so for that coin, what are the chances of getting a head? Suppose I ask this question. Then in percentage, if you are answering, then the chances are 50%. And what are the chances of getting a tail? Suppose H is denoting head and T is denoting tail. Then getting tail, what are the chances? Again, it is 50%. So this, again, there is an uncertainty here. Okay. And the word which is used here is chances. Now this word chances will be again replaced by the word probability. So now the question is what is the probability that when a coin is tossed, you get a head? So the probability of getting a head, this is how we will be writing, is 50%. Now how do I write 50%? I write it as a ratio. So I write it as 50 upon 100 and that is half. So which is 0.5. So the concept which is already known to you, that chances of getting a head when a coin is tossed is 50%. The same concept is now shifted or transformed in a little new terminology, saying that what is the probability of getting a head when a coin is tossed? And the answer is 1/2. How this 1/2 is achieved, that we will soon see in this particular video, or maybe in the next video. In this video now, I will explain about the basic terms which are used in probability. So with this background, let us go to the basic terms. Now let us see the basic terms used in probability. The first term is random experiment. Random experiment is also known as simply an experiment or a trial. trial. Okay. Random experiment is defined as any action whose result is uncertain. That means it is not pre-decided. Such action is called as a random experiment. Now let us see the second term which is used, and that is sample space. Sample space. Now whenever you are performing any experiment, there are some outcomes. Any action is performed and then it results in some outcomes. If you consider the set of all such outcomes, then it is called as sample space. So sample space is defined as the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment or trial. The notation which is used for sample space is S, capital S. Now it is a set, so number of elements in that set is denoted by NS. It is number of elements in S, which is also known as the size of the sample space. It is size of S. Next term, which is very important term, an event. Now what is an event? It is any subset of the sample space S. So you perform an experiment, then you get the sample space, that is set of all possible outcomes of the experiment, and then of that set, if you consider any subset, then it is called as an event. Let us try to understand these three terms with the help of an example. So I am considering an example of tossing a coin. Tossing a coin. Now you are performing some experiment when you are tossing a coin. एक action आहे ती. So it is an experiment. Tossing a coin is an experiment. Now what are the possible outcomes? Coin toss केल्यावर काय काय घडतं? So that is my sample space. All possible outcomes. The notation is S. And what all the things which can happen when a coin is tossed? So you know that you either get a head or you get a tail. Now these are the possible outcomes. You put it in the set form, and this set is known as sample space. Now every subset of this sample space is an event. So when I talk about the event, or rather say events, there are two very obvious events that nothing happens. So that is empty set. Empty set, that is nothing happens. And another very trivial or obvious subset is the entire set. Entire set S. So these are two trivial subsets of my sample space. But if you consider non-trivial means not very obvious subsets, then getting a head, suppose I denote head by H and tail by T, then just getting a head is one subset of my sample space. So it is an event, and another event is obviously getting a tail. म्हणजे कॉइन टॉस केल्यावर ज्या ज्या पॉसिबल गोष्टी घडू शकतात त्यातल्या वेगवेगळ्या घटना. इव्हेंट इज व्हॉट? घटना. सो ह्या घटना टेल मिळू शकतं किंवा हेड मिळू शकतं. सो दीज आर द इव्हेंट्स in the example of tossing a coin. Let us consider another example of throw of a dice. Throw of a dice. Dice म्हणजे सापशिडी खेळताना जी टाकतो आपण त्याला ते डाईस म्हणतात. Which is having 6 sides. Dice is having 6 sides and each side is having dots. 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, like that up to 6 dots it has. So throw of a dice is again an experiment in this example. Now what is the sample space when a dice is thrown? काय काय मिळू शकतं तुम्हाला? तर 1 डॉट मिळू शकतो, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots, 5 dots or 6 dots. So these are all the possible outcomes we can get when a dice is thrown. What is NS? NS म्हणजे size of the sample space. So how many elements are there in the sample space? That is NS. So it is 6. Whereas if you notice in the earlier example of tossing a coin, my NS was 2. Now here, coming back to the example of throw of a dice, what are the events? Now there are various events which are possible. Suppose I take these two, getting an even number. An even number. Now note that the events can be written in the form of a set or it can be also written in a description form the way I have written it over here. So getting an even number ही एक घटना झाली when a dice is thrown. So it is an event. Notation can be like self-explanatory notation. If you want to give, you can call it as E. And then what are the even numbers in this sample space S? So if you write it in the form of a set or rather say subset, then the even numbers are 2, 4 and 6. So these are the elements which belong to the subset E, which is described as getting an even number. Looking at some more examples of events in the experiment of throw of a dice. Obviously next event would be, you can consider getting an odd number. So I can give the notation as O. And what are the odd numbers over here? So remember, you are not writing all the odd numbers, you are writing the odd numbers from this set S. So that is 1, 3 and 5. One more event you can consider as getting a multiple of 3. Getting multiple of 3. So I can call it as M. You can give any alphabet for this particular event. Now what are the multiples of 3 in the sample space S? म्हणजे 3चा पाढा लिहायचा आहे तुम्हाला. So 3, then you get 6, but will you write 9, 12 and so on? No, because your sample space, my sample space consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only up to 6, and that is why multiple of 3 will have only 2 outcomes, that is 3, 6. So these are the 3 examples for an experiment throw of a dice. There can be more examples of the events, but I'm stating only 3 examples over here. Thank you.